Some nice mellow entry music to try and cool me down. I've been fidgeting all day today. Hi guys, it's Chris from the studios of WFC3, and you have yet again found yourself in the middle of monkey business. We appreciate you listening, spending some time with us. In the studio, as always, with me, your host Chris. With me, Billy DeTore.
Yay.
Tanya Metris.
Woo-hoo.
Becca May. Becca.
I thought you were calming down.
Nah, that's not happening. Wayne Brown. And on the phone, Deanna Schulmerich.
Hey, guys.
And everybody all together now, and
Sybil. We have to work on that.
I know. All right. So we've covered a wide variety of topics over the past many weeks, and we have many, many more coming up ahead of us. Today, Tanya found a great article on Topless Robot, which I think is a hilarious title of a website. I just want to say Topless Robot.
I didn't see it on Topless Robot, though.
We didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it there.
But they're basically attributed as the creators of this particular
Right.
list. And this list that I'm speaking
I
of.
can't imagine a topless robot.
You never saw a Suriyama robot?
Yeah.
No.
It's anime. It's out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is before.
Is it kind of like the Austin Powers Fembots?
Yeah, something like that. So today we're going to talk about the 20 commandments of nerddom. So
There's probably more.
There's probably more. Well, the cool thing about this list is 3 of them were written by Topless Robot, and then the rest of them, the other 17, were all fan suggested. So it's basically input from their readers, their listeners, and so we're even going to throw it out there.
Yes.
So after you've listened to this, if you think of something, throw it on the Facebook link, and we will definitely bring them up at a future podcast. So, with everybody on board, we are going to start with commandment number 1. Thou, and I have an edit for this too, so let me say the whole thing first and then we'll talk about it. Thou must experience as many nerdy properties as possible throughout your youth. Now, I find that kind of restricting because there weren't a lot of nerdy properties when I was a kid, but so I'm going to say thou must experience as many nerdy properties as possible throughout your life. So don't just pigeonhole yourself being a Doctor Who fan or being just a Star Wars fan or being just a Star Trek fan. Embrace them all. Don't ever miss an opportunity to expose yourself to something out there. So,
Well, I'm thinking at least in your youth, at least by the age of 20, you either had Star Wars or Star Trek, which either Kirk or Picard.
True.
Marvel or DC.
Yeah, true.
By the time that you were 20, you either had a Mac or a PC.
PC.
No, not by mine.
Well, I'm looking at Chris.
Yeah.
Probably not Wayne. It was probably an Atari or something.
Actually, when I
There
was
was no.
when I was 20, I was
no computer.
When I was
yes,
20
there was.
He kept this big
A
thing.
TRS-80?
Trash 80?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even have that.
when I was through high school and college, I had an Apple IIc, the compact portable one. So
With the 5.5-inch floppy.
With the 5.5-inch floppy disks.
Becca has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There were 8-inch floppies before that, and then there was tape. And I got
disks
paper
are-
tape from when I was in high school. I wrote programs on paper fan folded tape.
And then definitely the different doctors.
the different doctors, yeah.
Except for it
D&D.
wasn't Baker or Tennant. It was like Baker or Baker.
There's D&D, there's fantasy movies, there's a whole bunch of other things. There was plenty, but I'm just going to say, I'm going to make sure that people understand that it's not just through your youth, it's through your life.
It's through your life.
Expose
Definitely.
yourselves to as much as possible. Anybody else got any input on that one? But then we'll move on.
I was looking at the same list online, and one of the options where it says, do you like Star Wars or Star Trek? What is truck or monkey?
I have
don't
absolutely
know,
no
but-
idea.
Yeah, I have no idea what that one is either.
Hold on. That's the joys of
Tanya will research
Google.
that for you.
TRUKK
KK.
or MUNKEY.
That's got to be new. Within like the last 10 years.
It's Transformers.
Oh.
Oh,
Truck.
Then neither. Okay.
then neither. Yeah.
to complain about the changes to the mythos.
All right.
That
well,
was
there you
that
have
was
it.
way.
Sorry I asked.
That was way.
So I
Transformers
think-
came way after.
Oh, so it's like maybe like Optimus Prime was
Yes.
a trunk, and now he
Yeah.
became a monkey on Beast Wars or whatever. Even
Yes,
though
yes.
I did like the Beast Wars version of
I like the
Transformers.
animation.
Yes, when they were on Cybertron type thing. That was a really cool version of
I
Transformers.
have to check that out sometime. All right. Commandment number 2. Thou must always recognize your first exposure to a nerdy property was the best possible incarnation of that property. So the comment being, likewise, thou must always find new incarnation, sequels, spin-offs, rip-offs, and media inspired these properties to be crappier than your prized original.
Yep.
I don't know if I actually ascribe to that, though, because I grew up watching Star Trek, the original series, on syndicated rerun as a small kid. And then, so when I was in high school is when Next Generation came out. Now, not to throw shade on original series, but I loved Next Generation. I thought it was a lot more complex. It had a lot better, obviously a lot better sci-fi.
Complex.
What was wrong with that comment?
They stole all the stories. Naked Now instead of Naked Time.
Oh, the first season was basically a retread, but were they?
stole.
No, but seriously, in 3 years of original series, they basically just robbed all 3 years for 7 years of Next Generation. They did nothing new in Next Generation. There was nothing more.
Let's see.
There's
a handful of good episodes in Next Generation.
All right, and that's your opinion, and you're wrong. Ha! But also, think of it.
Inner Light is a great episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Think of Doctor Who, though. I mean, you have the classic series and you have the new series. Is one better than the other? Well, new series is tighter. It has better storytelling, I think.
Special effects.
Better special effects. A lot less penchant for overacting. But does that, the original series is still fairly cool, in my opinion. And I know I'm fidgeting, Billy. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Spazzing out.
I'm spazzing out over here. But yeah, you can probably. I don't know if I would really ascribe to the whole second commandment.
I would think there's certain parts of the second commandment that we can subscribe to. Hence, A New Hope is definitely better than the version
1, 2, and 3
that we can't talk about because they're definitely crappier. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be fired.
Yeah.
Are they always necessarily better, or just hold a better place in your memory?
I think it's more of a nostalgic aspect than anything else.
I'm a big fan of the Adam West Batman, but I'm not going to say that it's better than
cheesier
than the Christian Bale Batmans.
Yeah.
Or even but to me,
the Michael Keaton Batmans.
I'll always be happy with the Adam West Batman. I'll always be the Batman that started me enjoying Batman.
Oh, green.
Stuff like that, I think it takes you back to your childhood. I mean, I'm kind of like, I agree with Billy on the Adam West Batman. That's what I grew up with. That's kind of what I remember coming home from school and watching. So it kind of takes you back to a place that was, cool and, hey, I'm a kid, you're a kid again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Green Hornet TV show versus the Green Hornet movie.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show.
The movie sucked.
Yeah, the TV show was way better than the movie.
All right. So onward and forward. Commandment number 3. Thou must revere the nerd girl because she is as rare as the diamond and just as valuable. Thou should not stalk her.
Thou should not stalk her.
Stalk her just because she's the only girl in your nerd circle.
Yeah,
and if when she turns down your advances, you will not spurn her because that's just shitty. And nerd girls, thou must be careful, for thy power is great and can be used for both good and for ill. So and there's Tanya. She's got her arms up in the air. She's like, "Yeah, that's me. I can use my power. I am powerful."
What?
I'm doing the same thing.
Sybil, your might is great, for you are nerd.
Nerd girls are not rare.
They're not as rare as they used to be.
No, they've never been rare. Star Trek fandom is like 75% women.
Because Jonathan Frakes is hot.
No, before Jonathan.
Captain Kirk was hot at that thing. I'm sorry.
And if you go to a lot of science fiction conventions, there are all kinds of women at science fiction conventions. Mm-hmm. There's always been women at science fiction conventions from the early days of science fiction. So it's like they're being rare. It's only in media that they are rare.
And what, Dr. Bashir?
Who?
Deep Space Nine?
Alexander Siddig?
Yeah.
What about him?
He's hot, too.
Okay. Congratulations.
Julian?
Julian.
Yes.
But, nerd girls have always been around. They've just, I guess, the general public just didn't know.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably it.
They
the
think
general populace.
They think, science fiction, comic books, it's
guys.
all
It's
guys.
a guy
like,
thing.
no, there's always been women.
All right. That's a fair enough observation.
I will admit there's always been women,
Uh-huh.
but women hasn't really been until like recent years. It's like you embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Women were always told to embrace the girly stuff. Now women are told embrace your nerdy side, embrace the geek that is within you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see it more now than we used to ever.
Yeah, and I think it's nerdism has nerd and geekdom has really become more mainstream.
Yes.
In recent years. Mm-hmm. So it's socially acceptable because everybody's into it now. Like, I can make a Dungeons and Dragons analogy. When I first started playing, there was nothing but guys in the room. There was five, 6 guys and a bunch of beers, and we'd be playing all night long. And we'd go to the gaming convention at RIT and the one at U of R.
Rudicon and SimCon.
Yeah. And, bulk of them guys. You'd see a lot of girls wandering around, but it was basically the bulk of them guys. And then as the table evolved, that's how I met Tanya, was at a gaming table with Deanna. And, our current gaming table has anywhere from 1 to 3 girls at it. And there are days where actually the girls outnumber the guys. And it's kind of funny when that happens. But and we are still aware of it enough to make commentary about it. But, you see how it has kind of evolved.
Yeah.
But usually the guys are definitely outnumbering the girls at our table.
Yeah. But that's,
And think about it. When I was growing up, I would never have thought that a female would draw a comic book.
Right.
Or even was a comic book artist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you start understanding the history, they've always been there, and now they're more so than ever. There are females that draw comic books.
An excellent point.
Even male, dominated comic books. There's females drawing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're starting to see that people are understanding that it's not just a male-dominated arena anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's there.
The same thing with science fiction. It's like women have always written science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It just, and they've gone into that in like Star Trek and stuff like that, where it's like women have always been around, but no one's ever
really
paid any
recognized
attention to them.
Yeah.
Because,
DC Fontana.
Yeah,
was
you had to
a
use
girl.
initials.
Yeah,
and a lot of women used their initials because if they got a story, if the editor got a story and it was a woman's name on it, he probably would throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
So if you use the initials, then you can at least get seen.
All right, now onward and forward. The next 17 items on the list, those first 3 were created by the creator of the article in the first place. The next 17 were commenter-suggested laws. So now we're going to be getting into a little bit of editing, and we can have a little bit more fun with these. Consider these the honorable mentions, if you will. Although you should obey them just as you would the first 3 commandments, as it says in the article. So, commandment number 4. Thou must try to convince your significant other to name the child after a character of nerdy importance. If thou art cut from the cloth of the nerd tribe and have managed to breed, and bringeth into the world the Landos, the Anakins, and the Kal-Els of this world.
No. Kevin Smith was the one that named his daughter 17 years ago.
Yep.
Harley
Quinn.
Quinn Smith. Yeah.
Harley Quinn, yep.
Yep. I have met
Nicolas Cage has named his son Kal-El.
Kal-El, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I have met an Anakin. That was not Tanya's cat.
No.
I have met a Luke and a Leia who were twins. Okay. And I remember they were, I think it was like, it was when I was dabbling in grad school work in the mid 90s, and I ran into Luke, and he said, yes, and I have a twin sister named Leah. And I just kind of, my head tilted, and he goes, yes, my parents are nerds. And that was basically the entire conversation. So they're out there. They're out there.
We didn't even have to convince each other because my second son's name's Riker.
Yeah. Now, were you thinking of the Bearded Wonder?
That was in our background, but actually it's a Dutch derivative of the name Richard.
Uh-huh.
So, and my father-in-law's middle name was Richard.
So it's kind of
that was like an
together.
homage to that, but then it was
your son's name. I've said this to your husband on several of occasions. Your son's name is basically a future X Games champion.
He is.
Really? Seriously.
And we're going to blame his godparents for that.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
Oh, at least his godfather, okay? The kid's confused anyway.
His middle name is a Ninja Turtle.
Yes, his middle name is a Ninja Turtle. It's Riker Raphael. So
yeah,
it was originally going to try to be Raphael, but Nana vetoed that. So
That's the painter too.
the painter and the turtle.
Yeah, and the turtle. So, and he likes the turtles, and he's not a big Star Trek fan yet.
He'll get there.
But he was Commander Riker for his first Halloween.
There you go.
I know someone they named a writer who named his daughter Aaron for Aaron's son from Farscape.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
There you go.
And lots of cats, like our cosplay guru, Rika. Her cat is Ahsoka.
Sokka. And mines were Anakin and
Yoda.
Yoda.
Yeah,
And the
so-
vet's office named him. We just kept the names.
There you go.
My,
All right.
My dog's name is. Oh, my first dog was named Clark Kal-El Kent of Krypton.
Nice.
And my
Kind of bulky.
yeah.
So is the dog.
And then my newest dog's is General Satai Zototh Zod.
That's definitely
How do you not name your dog Crypto?
Because
That's been done before.
I haven't done a crypto yet.
So yet.
Yes.
He did say yet. All
I don't
right,
know.
commandment number 5.
Getting back to Anakin's name really should be Jabba the Cat.
I know, seriously, it's huge.
He's huge.
All right, commandment number 5. All nerds must be able to sketch from memory the basic outlines of A, the Millennium Falcon, B, the USS Enterprise 1701, and the TARDIS.
I can do the Enterprise right now.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I can't draw,
I
but
can't
I
draw.
can do it.
I can't draw for crap myself.
I can draw them because I know what they should look like, but I can't.
The great
draw.
thing is,
I can recognize them.
the great thing is all we need to do is look at Sybil's the back of her left shoulder, and we got everything we need right there in one spot.
Really?
She's got a tattoo of the TARDIS and the Starfleet Delta and a whole bunch of things all wrapped up in one piece. Huh. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's gonna cover my whole arm. It's gonna have all kinds of nerdiness.
Yay! There it is. Billy has done.
Just quick.
Billy has given me the profile of the Enterprise 1701.
I can
Very
draw
nice.
like that.
All
Can I
right.
do a stick figure?
Commandment number 6 is the most important of them all, of all 20. This is the one that struck me as the most important. Number 6, thou shalt not question who shot first. Do I need to explain this one? Do I
No.
Han shot first.
Han
End of-
shot first.
All right.
I actually had to explain that to my wife at one
Really?
point, yeah.
That's funny. All right, so we got to move on.
I listened to a podcast where their ending statement is always Han shot first.
It's you can't go wrong. You can't go. It's the truth. It's not an
They
alternative
just tried
fact.
to make it nice so that Han wasn't a bad guy.
He was a bad guy.
But he was a bad guy. That's the thing.
He's a scoundrel.
But
All
they
right.
got popular, so they couldn't have a bad guy being popular.
He's a scallywag.
Yeah.
Commandment number 7. Thou
This
shalt
one's funny.
Thou shalt acknowledge that Batman beats everyone ever, anywhere at fighting. That's right, he beats everybody, even Optimus Prime, even Darth Vader, even Chuck Norris. He'd find a way. He's the goddamn Batman.
Can you deny that, Billy?
No, I can't.
No.
And if you ever get in trouble, just go, Martha.
And then he'll back right off.
He's beaten the Hulk. He's beaten Superman.
There is a fan film out there that came out recently where it was Darth Vader versus Batman, and he loses badly.
Did you see the
No,
Darth
he didn't
Vader?
lose badly after he rescued Superman. His whole mission was to rescue Superman.
All right, well, he got his
And-
neck snapped.
Yeah, but not after he took a lightsaber. No, he brought out his own lightsaber. That's right, he had his
Yeah.
own.
Did you see the Darth Vader versus Buzz
Lightyear. I did see that one. That made me laugh. Because Vader's like, what the hell is going on here? Are you serious?
I waited for them to say you're a toy, T-O-Y toy.
All right, commandment number 8. Thou shalt be prepared to survive the zombie apocalypse and teach thy children similarly.
Oh, I'm killing myself if the zombie apocalypse.
If
You can
Depends
come
on
to
If the
my
zombie
house.
apocalypse
gone,
happens, I
yeah.
got a friend who's willing to help.
There you go.
It depends
come to
on
our
what
house.
zombie apocalypse, what kind of zombie you're talking about.
Are we talking like Day of the Dead zombies? Are we talking World War Z?
Yeah, the
I
ones that
Am
can
Legend.
move. I Am Legend aren't zombies, kind of.
Well,
They have
it's a version.
They have intelligence if you read the story. Mm-hmm. They're smart.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to get what's his name to surrender every night. They were do psychological warfare on him every night. So it's like,
Well, let's agree that let's go with Zombieland. Zombies. So remember, rule number 1, cardio.
Oh no, I just watched Resident Evil Final Chapter last night.
Is that the ones in the movies now? Or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
theaters now? Oh, I would have gone with you.
Fire Stick.
Fire Stick?
Fire Stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't pay for it.
Fire Stick is everything.
It is.
Was it worth fire sticking it, or?
The color was a little off,
Mm-hmm.
and as I said, I'm not a big zombie type movie type thing, but it wasn't bad. It kind of just summed up everything that had happened.
I personally don't believe in bumper stickers and decorating my car all that much.
You've got a zombie.
I have the zombie outbreak
response team.
plaque on the back window of my car. That's as far as I will go.
you got a pointy stick?
I do have a pointy stick. I need a pointy
you
stick
need.
because I'm in neighborhoods where I'm going to need a pointy stick once in a while.
Well, don't you use the pointy stick to measure grass?
Sometimes. Sometimes. The grass you mow, not smoke.
You can smoke both.
Yeah, only if you're that creative. All right, where am I? Commandment number 9.
It's the lawn chemicals.
Thou shalt not forget to honor and give thanks to the dice gods for your triumphs and your victories. This is for the Dungeons and Dragons players in the group. So yes, when you roll really well, praise the dice gods. When you roll really poorly, it's your fault.
No, you get another set of dice.
Yes. Or they go flying across the basement.
I don't know of anybody who does not have a big bag of dice.
Oh God, yeah.
Because
I don't have a big bag of dice.
She has.
You only have like one set or two?
No,
Oh, no.
she has something like 50 sets.
Oh,
She has
then it's
I,
good.
a sorting
they're all
cabinet.
in these little drawers.
because she's that OCD.
And then it's like,
They're all done up by color.
I need the good dice. Where's my good kill the party dice?
Let me explain.
And you need a new set for every new campaign.
Yes, that's
You have
a
to go
thing
and
I do.
break in a new set.
You need a new set for your new character. If you're
Right.
running a new character, you got to get a set that matches the character.
That is correct.
Absolutely. So if the character
The right
is
colors.
in like
Yes.
a ranger and, and things like that, you have to
Break
get
out
like
the
greens
green
and
dice.
blues and
Yeah.
things like that. And Deanna has a tendency to not want to sit at the opposite end of the table.
I was going to bring up that point because
You want
being
to
in
sit at the same end?
At same end, because I have a tendency to throw dice.
Oh, okay.
And whoever's sitting across from me, it's usually Chris and Deanna.
yeah.
You gotta learn to duck.
If you duck, you're probably going to get hit. If you sit
That's why you
still,
have That's why you have the player's handbook up.
No,
So you can use it
because
as a
I'm usually
shield.
really pissed off because whatever, and they go winging, and then I'm like, crap. Now
I
gotta go
will tell
find
you,
it.
there was one day where I rolled a 20 on my dex check because I did not know she was that frustrated. I did not know she was about to wind up, and all of a sudden
And
I
you
see
made your
movement.
dex?
Yes.
It's like, I'm
I
going to
see-
kill him. I'm
I
gonna
see
kill him
movement,
good.
and I look
Oh,
up
like,
just in
man.
time to see this projectile coming right at me, and I just got my left hand up just in time, and the
Catch it.
20-sider caught, and bam, I caught it, and I'm looking at it, and I rolled it, and I rolled a 20.
I'm like, bring that back. No,
And
but
I'm like, no, it works for me. I'm keeping this damn thing.
No, but then we have to praise the dice gods for when the DM starts rolling ones at
Right.
that chair. Yes.
So I will say this to all of our
Our-
listeners. If you ever find yourself sitting at a gaming table with Tanya, do
Sit
not
next
sit
to me.
directly across from her. Sit next to her, sit around the corner from her, but do not sit across from her or you may be at risk.
Billy can sit across from me. I would never throw dice at Billy.
You would throw dice.
Or you can have Sean, our friend Sean, roll him, and he has Dice Chief.
There you go.
Yeah,
He's spooky.
He can like get a 20 out of it just by rolling in front
I've
of him.
seen Sean roll a 20-sider or a 20 on a 10-sider. I've seen him do it.
He's like a Chuck Norris.
He is.
Yeah.
All right,
dice.
moving on. Commandment number 10. If two nerds ever find themselves holding cylindrical objects of at least 9 inches in length, they must immediately make lightsaber ignition noises and face each other down in mortal combat. That could be seriously interesting at a shall we say a female novelty party.
Really? You had to go there?
Yes, I had to go
I
there.
thought we were keeping this somewhat family friendly.
Screw family friendly. I'm out for some laughs.
I think both girls on the phone, they're lucky they're not in the studio currently.
At least it'd be easy to make the vibrating sound.
There you go.
I should leave.
No.
Becca.
Poor Becca and her virgin ears.
She's a junior in high school. She should not be hearing this. Yeah,
She probably watches it all the time on.
let alone participating.
I'll throw it out there. No, I'm not. I'm not going to say the comment. I'm going to move on. It's going to commandment
But
number
yes,
11. Or either there, we might
but-
lose. We're
but-
going to lose Becca under the table if I say what I'm about
But
to say.
can I tell you how many true lightsabers we have in our house? Like,
yeah.
We've got 2 of the Darth Maul double-bladed
Yep.
ones and things like that. Yeah. And
I don't have a single lightsaber.
I've got 2 kids. One's 18, one's 8.
I had one and it was broken because I
I
have
had a
kids
Minbari
myself.
fighting stick, though.
Ooh, those are nice.
I have
a sonic
R1's Lord of the
screwdriver.
Rings
There you go.
elven sword in the house. I can
There you
use
go.
that.
I got a regular longsword, yeah.
I've got a rock. All right.
Definitely different fandom.
Commandment number 11. Shouldst thou hear someone proclaim, now you know, for whatever reason, then thou must reply in your
And
most
knowing is
triumphant
half the
voice,
battle.
and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe, great American hero.
Let he who offended against this law be cast out from the company of his worthier fellows and be made subject to aspirations made against his improper rearing, and the cuckolding whore that did sire him and perform the rearing.
Do they even use that in the new G.I. Joe?
I don't think so. No, I think that was basically that was an 80s thing.
I was waiting for it.
Wait,
I was
Sybil.
waiting for it in the anime, in the live action too.
Sybil?
I say this every day.
Yes.
Whenever I explain something to one of my coworkers, I go, and now you know.
And knowing is half the battle. There you have it.
I use that quite frequently at work also. Mm-hmm. The kids look at me like, what?
You know, and it goes, I don't know if it's included in the list somewhere along the line, but it goes hand in hand with, somebody was raised Roman Catholic when you hear, may the force be with you, and your response, and also with you. Yeah, there it is. All right, commandment number 12. When searching for something to watch on television, you must watch the geek movie you come across.
Absolutely.
Even if you have said movie in your collection. Even if anyone asks, why don't you just watch the one you own, stare at them like an idiot and explain that's not the point.
My mother does not understand this concept with
Let's
me.
see.
Doesn't get it.
In our
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element. In our house, it's also Armageddon.
Yes.
Like, if that's on, that will stop.
Big Trouble Little China?
Princess Bride.
I love
Yes.
Big Trouble Little
Yeah.
Princess
The Big
Bride,
Lebowski was on again today. My husband, before I left, he was watching that, and he goes, well, I could only watch it for a couple minutes because the boys upstairs has got bad
it
words.
winds up watching the whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
because he was in the living room. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'm going to be gone. You can watch it in our room. He goes, well, I have it on DVD. He goes, but that's not the point. I'm like, okay, so go upstairs and watch it. But yeah, it's like there's certain ones that you have to stop. And even like my Big Fat Greek Wedding, I have to stop and watch certain parts. Eon Milla.
Even though we have all these movies on DVD.
Eon Milla.
All right.
I
So,
did this
go
last
ahead.
night with Grease. Grease was on, and I was like, boop, it was halfway over, but I still stopped and watched the end of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like you don't. It's like
Doesn't
it's
matter,
on.
you know.
It's like it's got. And even if it has commercials, you still
That's
watch
when you
it.
can get up and go to the bathroom or go get snacks.
This actual
that's the
conversation
perfect
has
time.
happened at my house where I was watching Tom Baker Doctor on PBS. And,
you have this.
And my son said, don't you have all of them on your computer? That's not the point.
It's here. I don't have to move.
Exactly. All right.
Oh.
Becca, hide your virgin ears for this one.
Go into the other room.
Commandment number 13. In order to assure procreation of the nerd species, thou shalt not utter any nerdy comments or quotes during sex. Those are as far as the birds and the bees I'm going to help you out with, because she's turning red. Look at her go. Holy crap. Okay. I'm sorry.
I've seen some shady things in fandoms.
Yeah. That's the thing. You guys are. I didn't need to
Have
have
you watched The Seven Deadly Sins?
The anime, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I was supposed to say the movie
No, season 2's coming out on February 17th.
Oh boy.
Melodious.
And they found an 8th and a 9th deadly sin in the process. All right. So, commandment number
They're
14.
named Christopher and Frank.
Yeah. Okay.
Back me up on the Sybil, Deanna.
I am not a deadly sin, for God's sake.
Comment.
Stop it.
I'm not going down that road.
Thank you, girls.
Damn right.
Gluttony.
That's one of the first 7.
I'm jittery. That's about it. I think it would qualify as one of the dwarfs if I wasn't 6'5". All right.
You're just a tall dwarf.
There you go.
Glandular problem.
Commandment number 14. Thy first crush must be upon a cartoon character.
Oh.
Who would that? I didn't ever consider that. Who would that be in
Betty and Wilma.
I was
Betty
going to
and
say
Wilma.
Betty Rubble.
Betty Rubble, Wonder Woman,
Uh-huh.
Wendy from Super Friends, Marvin and Wendy.
Wendy.
Oh, Daphne.
Daphne. Okay, yeah, definitely.
Or Velma.
If you're into that sort of thing, I suppose.
I don't know. I would say Gambit.
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 Yeah. Well,
Yes.
X-Men.
Yeah.
come on, Cajun accent's
Hey,
kind of sexy. I got to tell you.
I'm female, so I'm going to go Gambit,
Yeah,
not necessarily Rogue.
Cajun accent works. That works. Mm-hmm. All right, how about you, Becca?
Bugs Bunny in a dress.
Bugs Bunny.
We're hunting weapons.
That brings a whole new meaning to the question, what's up, Doc? All right, commandment number 15. Thou must not be the nerdiest person in the room, the one nerd that even the other nerds are scared to be around. If your obsession causes you to lose a job, significant other, or cause harm to yourself, get some fucking help. Editor's note, I feel like this covers my fanfic rule from before. If you're writing about that pedo, beastophiliac Care Bears porn, you're very likely this person. You should knock that shit off.
I don't have all that extra
Time?
commentary. No, I'm going to have to go over to the other thing because I don't have that extra commentary
Well,
here.
look, Slash is very popular right now.
Are we
Where's
talking
the
about the guitars
delay?
from Guns N' Roses?
No, we're
okay.
talking fan fiction.
Fiction,
and that's,
fiction.
look at the number one movie this weekend. 50 Shades of Grey is Slash
50
fiction.
Shades Darker?
50 Shades Darker.
50 Shades Darker is fan fiction,
Yeah,
basically.
well, yeah, but it's like
Twilight
it was fan
fan
fiction,
fiction.
and
No.
it made. I don't know how. It's-
Yeah.
but it
There
is.
is a... Yeah, never mind.
All right, commandment number 16.
So truly, are you the
Go ahead.
nerdiest person in the room currently?
Am I the nerdiest person in the
I think
world?
it's a toss-up between you and Wayne.
Me and Wayne? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean,
I painted my house Superman colors.
well, then there you go. Wayne wins. Wayne wins.
I don't know. Do you have a Batman table?
Oh,
Batman table?
yeah, I have the
There-
Batman
there's
dinner
Billy.
table.
Batman.
Yeah.
Every room in my house is a Superman color. I had my satellite dish on the outside of my house had the Superman emblem on it.
Oh, I don't know. You can see that from space.
And when I sold the house in the city, people said, "Oh, the Superman house." It's like, yeah.
Yeah. All right. He does his hair
Okay,
tucked by
I
the
guess
ear,
he wins.
Wayne Campbell thing. All right. So Wayne wins.
Wayne had his own TV show. So
He
I'm-
did.
Yeah, but that
That's
don't
true.
count. Anybody can have a TV show.
Okay, number 16.
Commandment number 16, thou must learn how to do the Vulcan hand gesture, whether thou like Star Trek or not. Everybody's doing it. Yeah, everybody's got it up. Everybody's got it. How about you girls? You got it? D?
I got it in both hands.
All
So
right.
both hands, yep.
Both hands.
I learned it before I knew what Star Trek was.
There you go. See? Becca's starting to climb up the nerd rims there. Commandment number 17. Thou shall be required to attend at least one nerd convention, and in parentheses, video games, anime, comics, etc., to qualify that. So during thy lifetime, you are required to at least attend one convention.
Or run one.
Or run
in your
one.
case, yeah.
Yeah, so Tanya D and I have got that covered. Sybil helps there. So yeah, I think that everybody on the panel today, we've all at least been to one or have run one.
I used to do one a week.
Yeah.
No, one a month.
One a month?
I used to go to a con a month. That was a lot.
That was a lot. That is a lot of travel. Now you don't have to travel so much because you got one right here in Rochester. Ha! That was a plug.
Still go.
At the Rochester Riverside Convention Center
It'd
on May
still be-
20th
and 21st. Like us on Facebook.
It'd still be like, oh, okay, it's done. Well, what's next month?
Yeah.
I'd go to another one next. I'd go every month, except for, I don't think there's any month I didn't go to a convention.
So that's cool to have that ability to be able to do that too.
They're all around. You just got to drive.
Where am I here? All right.
17.
17.
No, 18.
18?
Yeah, we
18.
just did 17.
There shall be no viewing of fan subs by any self-described otaku anime fan who can afford to purchase the said material. The only exception being viewing at conventions or titles that have no chance of ever being released stateside.
That one I don't understand.
I don't understand that
What?
one. Let me read that again because I don't even understand it. There shall be no viewing of fan subs. Are they like fan films of anime and stuff like that?
No, there's just you like take Star Blazers, the movie.
Yeah.
And you fan sub. It's not in It's not in English. And fan subtitle it.
Oh, so the fans do it. Okay.
Fan subtitles.
All right.
Got it.
So there should be no viewing of fan subs by any self-described otaku/anime fan who can afford to purchase the said material. So if I could afford to buy Star Blazers, to use this analogy any further, with the proper subtitling, then I should not be, viewing fan subs. Okay.
Except for some of it isn't out that you can buy unless you can get to Japan or get it sent to you from Japan.
I know there's people who are that into it, so I won't fault them. I know that's not my bag, but I won't. There's a ton of people out there who are into it. So, all right. Commandment 19. All nerds, when purchasing something in a store, must never pick up the first item in front, because the item in front has most certainly been touched by unclean hands, and thus its condition is less mint. The grade must be pleasing to the nerd gods.
You know what? I
Absolutely.
actually go further back and like.
Just don't grab the first one.
I would do that even with not nerd stuff. When you go
Right.
buy a newspaper, you always grab
Yeah.
the second or third one in.
Yeah, I've done that. I can see that. I can do that. Even at the store, you go for the milk.
Well, you go by the milk
For the
by the
date.
latest date. You keep looking.
Yeah, go for the back. All right. And Commandment 20, which is apparently the winner of the contest. Thou must obey the law of the golden mean, which I have. What is that? Glad you asked. Anything that can be purchased, achieved, or obtained that consists of a discrete number of individual parts. This one's for you, Billy, now that I'm reading into this.
This one's actually a math term.
I was about to say, this sounds
is
like
definitely math.
wherever it's going, it does sound
Anything
like
that consists
It's
of a
math.
discrete number of individual parts, issues, episodes, or locations, such as issues of a comic book, trading cards in a set, or action figures in a line, is subject to the law of the golden mean. Any nerd in possession of more than 61.8% of the individual items in the series must, if at all possible, either proceed to acquire each of the remaining items as to complete the set, or sell one or more items on eBay until the nerd again owns less than 61.8% of the total series. If the items owned make up a complete set of a more specific series, the law is satisfied.
It's so funny you mention this because just in the last week or so, I've always been a fan. In the 70s, DC and Marvel both put out what they called treasury editions. They're about tabloid-sized comics, about 10 by 13, I think they were. And over the years, I used to have a
They're
bunch
about
of
this size.
Yeah, I used to have a whole bunch of them when I was a kid, and then I don't anymore. But I started picking them up again. If I saw them at a store or at a convention, I'd start buying them. And recently, I realized I had about 30 of them. So I go, I wonder how many there are. And if Tanya looks at my screen right now, and I didn't just pull this up, TreasuryComics.com, I was just trying to figure out which ones I don't have and which ones I need because I now want to complete my set. Yeah. There's about 100 of them total. And I am now in the process of mentally cataloging which ones I have.
How can you remember and tell?
Because I know the covers very well. So, and I have a printout at home. I actually just printed this page out at home, and I'm still looking and trying to collect all approximately 100 of them.
See, and this is the main reason why I have not started picking up Doctor Who DVDs, because there are just so many of them out there that I know that if I get one, I'm going to want another, I'm going to want the rest, and I'm going to want to keep collecting, and I'm going to end up being freaking broke.
So did you see this example? It says Peter owns seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Babylon 5 on DVD. He owns 4 of 5 of the Babylon 5 on DVD, so he must purchase season 5 to complete the set, even though it kind of sucked. That's
I've done that with 24. I've got all the seasons of 24, even though there's some I don't like.
I have all the seasons of Andromeda, and then we have all the seasons of Justified. And I don't have all the seasons of Warehouse 13, but I've watched them all.
I have all the seasons of Charmed. Please don't ask me why.
So do I, but I record them off of. I recorded them on the DVD. I didn't buy them.
Sybil, how about you? Do you have
Netflix.
anything that you've thought about collecting or have started collecting, and you realize that you haven't gotten everything you wanted yet?
Pokemon?
Well, yes,
Gotta catch 'em all.
Pokemon. No, I collect different things. Like I collect shot glasses of one from each state.
Right.
So, but I have a rule that I don't get the shot glass until I've actually visited the state.
Okay. Well, that works. So if I go somewhere you haven't been and I bring it back, that doesn't count.
It doesn't count because I have to physically be in that state when I buy it.
So it's like we have shot glasses from the Hard Rock Cafes, from whatever cities we've been in. We've got a couple from San Francisco. We haven't been in it, but we've had friends that have been there and things like that. But I think I've got like 2 or 3 from Pittsburgh.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, Deanna, do you have anything? How about you? Any collections that you were like, oh, I've got gaps in this, I got to do something about?
She's got gaps.
Don't have any gaps.
Dale Jr.
For
stuff.
me, it's the Star Wars. I mean, as much as I didn't care for movies 1, 2, and 3, I had to have them because I had 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
Oh, that's different.
I went
Now,
and
do you have
got
7
the
yet?
Force Awakens. When Rogue One comes out, I'll go get that. You just want them.
And I'm going to plan on doing that myself, and I'm going to be putting them in the machete order on my shelf, which means one is going to be sitting in a
Dumpster?
Sitting in a dumpster somewhere.
Hidden behind
How about you, Becca?
everything.
Do you got any collections that you've been...
I could say the Rick Riordan books.
and who's that again?
He's the guy
He's
who
the one
did-
who wrote Percy Jackson
Right,
series.
okay.
And then on to Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, et cetera, et cetera. I've got like almost all of his books. There's maybe 3 or 4 I don't have.
So are we...
Books are easy to get.
as a crew here, have we been following the commandments?
I think we've
done a
been
fairly good job of following
nerd
the commandments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing with the collection one is like I collect Superman stuff, and there are stuff that I don't buy. But
that's not necessarily going to not fill your collection.
no, because there's too much. But that's about it. I've got a collection of tons of DVDs.
Yeah.
I've got
Would the
thousands.
Holy Grail for you, Wayne, be action number 1, obviously? Or
Yeah,
is there
it-
something else that...
That'd probably be the Holy Grail.
I think it'd be the Holy Grail for a lot of comic book collectors, really. Action number 1, that's Superman's first appearance, right?
Yeah.
Would you sell it or would you keep it, Wayne?
Keep it.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't sell it.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
It's like why
I'm
would
not
I
a
sell
good. I'm not a good nerd. I'll take that $2 million.
because I'd never be able to. I got a Superman lunchbox from the 1954. I got one of those Superman lunchboxes, and it's worth a couple $1,000. And my sister said, "Why don't you sell it? You can have some money." I said, "Then I'll never be able to buy one, and all I'll have is some money, which I'll spend on other stuff. But then I don't have my lunchbox."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the lunch, but couple thousand, I'd keep it.
Yeah.
Couple million, I'm tempted.
That is tempting. That is a very tempting thing. You know, I can appreciate that.
When I first started collecting, Action #1 was only like $300.
Wow.
And,
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
But I didn't have $300 to buy one.
Yeah, well, $300 in those days was about the equivalent of about 30,000 these days. Inflation, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think we can wrap this one up. Do anybody have any more comments on these commandments? Are they ridiculous? Is there something we've forgotten? Something we're missing? No. The dead air is telling me that we're all in good shape.
I think we've covered them all.
We covered them all.
Yeah.
We did good today.
We're definitely nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do is we're going to follow the commandments, and and nerdism is our church. That's it.
Yes.
All right. So for the gang, for Billy, for Tanya, for Becca, for Wayne, for Dee, and for Sybil, this is Chris from the studios WFC3, and this has been Monkey Business, a production of Mighty Monkey Productions, the presenters of the Flower City Comic-Con, coming at you with their second show, May 20th and 21st of 2017 at the Rochester Riverside Convention Center. Follow us on Facebook, like us, love us, listen to us whenever you get the chance. www.facebook.com/FC3ROC.com, and live long and prosper.
All right, enough of that.
I know. I could listen to that for a while, though. That could be fun.
Oh, wait, we only got about 9 seconds left. Here we go.
Keep going, keep going, keep
Take
going.
it home.
Take it home.